So, in today's episode of the Mama podcast, we are joined by the fabulous Sophie Price. We are very, very excited to have you on our podcast, Sophie. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for becoming our very latest patron of the charity. It's so excited. So tell everybody about you, your current situation, because I know congratulations are in order because you've got your second one due. Tell us everything about you and what's happening right now.
Well, thank you for having me. So first, what is happening? So I'm currently pregnant with my second. I'm 6-month mark will be next week. I'm not sure when this goes out. It might be, might already be out by then. So yeah, 6-month mark is next week. At the minute, I am just busy. We've spoken a bit about this, but doing the house up, doing like day-to-day work, looking after Albert as well. I've got my 3-year-old. And I must say, like this time round, it's been completely different to my first pregnancy with Albert. Because obviously, when I was pregnant with Albert, it was just me and Harry. I didn't have to focus on a little one. If I wasn't feeling well, I could just go and lie down and not think about anything else. Whereas this time round, it's like he's constantly on the go. So it's been a bit of a shock to the system where you're like, oh God. And like this time round as well, I'm having a girl. And you know, when people say, oh, the sickness sometimes can be worse with girls than boys, I've really found that. So like I've peaks and troughs of energy.
Wow,
Well.
I can't even. So we've got one same age-ish, Albert, and like we're one and done.
Yeah.
I'm like, after one, I'm like, did nobody else get the memo?
No, but this is the thing. Like I said to Harry, I was like, I'm having 2 and that's it. Then we're done. Like, and then we've got the girl and boy. So lucky, very lucky.
That is lovely.
To be honest, I would if it had been a boy, I wouldn't have cared. Like whatever, as long as it's healthy, I don't care. But yeah, so got the girl. So we're just going through names and bits like that now. Haven't bought anything yet, to be honest, which is different, right? Because when I had Albert, at this point, I had his room done, decorated, I had his cot, I had his buggy, everything. And I haven't bought one thing yet for this one. And you know, sometimes you think, oh God, I feel a bit guilty that I haven't. But I'm sure like come September time, once the autumn clothes start coming in, I'll probably be like, right, let's get some baby grows, get some bedding, think about the wallpaper that I want for the nursery. But at the minute, I'm just like, nah.
It's so difficult, isn't it? Because you're juggling so many different things. You're juggling work and obviously you're juggling Albert, which you wouldn't have had last time.
But I'm just trying to sort of find that time for myself now, especially where I get quite tired. Do you know what I mean? So it's then thinking, oh, what can I do for myself? Or, you know, what can I do just to have a bit of peace of mind?
And how's the house renovations going? Like,
oh, well.
How long have you been doing that for and what have you got left to do?
So to be honest, so we moved in on the 18th of December. It was a nightmare. Moving was horrendous. Like it put the fear of God in me. And like we had a nightmare of our removals. So that was all sort of stressful. But then when we got in straight away, I was like, right, I want downstairs wallpapered, painted. And then we've done the downstairs. We just need to sand the floors, which I think we're doing 2 weeks' time. And then I've had the kitchen taken out, new kitchen in. We do need a new bathroom, but I'm not that fussed about the bathroom at the minute. I can live with that. Do you know what I mean? It's all right. Just a basic bathroom's fine. And then upstairs, my bedroom needs painting, decorating. Albert's bedroom needs painting, decorating. And then the new baby's needs wallpapering. But for my bedroom and Albert's bedroom, well, I'm going to go for block colours, I think, because originally I was like, oh, let's get some William Morris wallpaper up there sort of thing. And now I'm like, I've been on Pinterest. So, you know, when you look and you're like, no, I think I want a block colour, which would be easier. So
yeah, nice. Did you deliberately like organize your life like this? So like interior, do the whole of the new house, have a baby, or is it all just
no, it just literally like we always knew we wanted another baby. That's because originally we lived in a 2-bed flat in southeast London, Moved there just because at the time we were both working in the city, and then COVID happened and we just work from home now. Harry's an electrician, so he still goes into London, but he works at night. Whereas I'm at home all day, just sort of like on my laptop, pottering around. And to be honest, like we just found our sort of like routine before COVID was sort of be like Monday to Friday in London. Then at the weekends we would always be out in the countryside. And then I'm not really a city girl. I do like being in the sticks. I love going for my country walks, all that sort of thing. Because I just find it gives me it's nice, it's calming. And I do think going for a little walk in the countryside is good for the soul. I'm a big believer of that. So I sort of, because Harry's always sort of been sort of like brought up in London, if you like. And I had sort of like convincing him, should we move out to the countryside a bit, sort of thing. So we've sort of baby steps.
And you mentioned earlier about being really sick.
Oh, yeah.
With this pregnancy. How is it now, and how have you managed that?
Well, I'll be honest with you, like you just have to get on with it, especially when you've got a little one around. I do find I'm very much like, just get on with it, just get the day done. I mean, I'm quite lucky. Albert's at nursery 4 days a week. So during the day, if I am feeling a bit sick, I do just go and have a lie down, or then like sort of work around it. But yeah, it's been a lot harder this time. Like with Albert, I think I had a bit of nausea maybe for the first 6 weeks, and then it went away. Didn't really have any of the sickness, wasn't dizzy, didn't feel overly tired. Where this time round, from like 4 weeks till about 16 weeks, I'd say, nausea most days. And it would just comes over you, doesn't it? Like 1 minute you're fine, then the next you're like, I've got to sit down. But this time round as well, tell me if I'm talking too fast. This time
No,
round,
carry on. Good.
just rabbing it on. This time round as well, like, I've been getting so out of breath, like even walking up the stairs, and I never had that before. I'm just like, oh, like if me and Harry were out walking and we're having a conversation, I'm like, I just got to stop for 1 minute. Just let me have a breath, and then we can carry on. Really weird. Really
It's
weird.
crazy though, isn't it? Like I never really appreciated how much your like organs and stuff like compress. Like when you
Yeah.
look at pictures, it's like, whoa, how does all that? And then like to go back down as well, because we often like as soon as the baby's out, you want to rush back and do stuff. But like the fact that your body can move that much is just
Yeah.
insane. So yeah, maybe it's like higher up this time or something. I
Well,
don't
yeah. No,
know.
seriously, I have thought that, because every time I look at my belly, I'm like, my bump is like starting from like here. Whereas before, I'm sure it was a bit lower, but yeah, but at the minute, oh, I'll tell you what, so when I'm on TikTok at the minute, I'm getting served like loads of like negative birth stories. And you know, when you're like, stop looking at it, stop looking at it. Because I'm getting to that stage at the minute where I think it's in a couple of weeks, I've got to sit, me and Harry have got to sit down with the doctor and go through our birth plan. And I'm a bit like, oh God, you know, and it makes you scared a bit. So last time with Albert, what happened last time? So last time he went into labour, water sort of started breaking here and there. It wasn't like one big, you know, like on the films you see it where it's like, yeah, wasn't like that. But my waters were green. So he pooed inside me basically. And then I had 12 hours of labour, and then they decided to do a C-section, which was all fine, but the recovery, I found really hard with the recovery. I couldn't like walk properly for like 4 weeks after.
Oh wow.
So I know, and that's just with Albert. So this time round, if I can try naturally, I'd like to try. Just because I think it hopefully might be a quicker recovery. But at the end of the day, it's out of your hands, I think, sometimes, like what will be will be. What did you guys have? Did you guys have natural or?
So for my first son,
Yeah.
Aiden, he was sadly stillborn, but I gave birth to him naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased that I did, because he was the only one that I actually gave birth naturally to, because the other two had to be C-section. So one
Yeah.
was an elective C-section,
Yeah.
and the Tilly was I was induced, and then so it ended up having to be an emergency
Yeah.
C-section. So it's actually nice that I've gone through it all and I've
Yeah.
experienced it all, and then I can, give advice to other people. And I think having a birth plan, I think they call it birth choices now.
Oh, is that
Um,
what they call? Sorry, birth
yeah,
choices.
because obviously plans don't go to plan.
No. No.
But knowing your choices, and in a range of different circumstances as well. So in an ideal scenario, you'd want A, B, and C.
Mm.
However, if something else crops up or whatever,
Yeah.
then but it's all about informed choice and knowing what those choices are, and
Yeah.
having those conversations early with
Yeah.
professionals, so that you know what all the risks and all the benefits and the pros and the cons are, such as, if von-2s needs to be used, or if forceps needs to be used. If you're ever in that position, you can then say yes or no,
Yeah.
because you do have the right to decline any suggestion that they give. So
Yeah.
by being armed and empowered and knowledgeable before the time comes is really powerful, because it can really help you make the right decision.
Yeah.
Mine
So
was
it's great that you're having that conversation.
Yeah. I'm a bit anxious about it, but yeah, I think it would be fine. And you're just like, I feel like obviously last time was like 3 years ago. And actually, I can't even remember last time if I had a discussion about a birth plan last time.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
obviously, no, I don't think I did. I don't, yeah.
That's
It
interesting.
might have just been chats now and then with my midwife, but I think because we were still like COVID-y times, like Harry wasn't allowed into some of my appointments, if I remember. But yeah, I can't
I think it's
remember.
important to
Yeah,
have, like, to work out all your different choices, and your ideal scenario, and what you'd like, and even little things like what music you'd like to play and things like
yeah,
that, because you can choose things like that, especially when you're going into theatre and having a C-section as well. You can choose those things.
yeah.
But I do know that half the time healthcare professionals don't have time to look at the birth plan, which
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah,
which, so again, it's like making it known that you do have one.
yeah,
Here
yeah.
it is, please look at it.
Please look at
Yeah,
it.
our pregnancy passports. I know you had a wellbeing wallet, and
Yes,
for the
yeah,
trusts that have gone digital, we provide the pregnancy passports. And again, there's a big box on the front where you can write your birth plan. So if you
yeah,
keep the passport with you, you can hand that over at any time,
yeah.
and then they can read it.
Well, we were actually talking about everything going digital, weren't we, in regards to like your appointments and stuff like that. And I just think like I felt like for some people like that don't have access to a laptop or aren't computer illiterate sort of thing, like that must be so hard. I find it odd that that's happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we actually do have in the UK huge digital poverty,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
where
yeah,
people don't have any data. So they might have a
yeah,
phone, but they don't have any data.
yeah,
And you're right, they can't access certain things. So that's why we've introduced the passport, so that if your trust is digital and everything is digital,
yeah,
you still have the physical copy that you can put certain things in. It's got all the essential information there. And if you speak a different language, you can click on the button, and
yeah,
our website is translated in 100 different
yeah,
languages. So we're trying to cover
yeah.
all bases and help absolutely everyone. How did you find our wallet? Because I know you've had one in both pregnancies, haven't you?
I do. I always find whenever you get a wallet, it's like a little rite of passage. I'm like, I've got the wallet. I'm there now. Yes, sort of thing. I remember when I went to my first midwife appointment, I looked around the room and I was like, I haven't got a wallet yet, sort of thing. And then when I went to my second one, she had the wallet waiting for me, and I was like, yes, got it.
I was thinking it's the sort of thing as well that's like nice to keep, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Well,
like If you don't get round to the baby book second time round, at
No.
least you've got the wallet.
Yeah, so I've still got Albert's wallet, and it's got like his red book in it. He's got his birth certificate in it. Like everything's in that wallet. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a little like memory sort of thing as well to keep it. That's just me, but
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Heidi, it must be nice to hear that when you hear stories like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I go to my local hospital, which isn't very often, thank goodness, but if I do walk in there, I see all the mums, coming out holding a wallet, and I just think, oh, I'm the mama behind me. Hi,
Yeah,
Mama,
that's
can you-"
amazing. It's
this is where it all
amazing.
started. And then my dad actually texted me the other day. He was in Brighton, at the Royal Sussex
Oh
Hospital,
yeah.
and he said, "Oh, I've just seen a load of women walking around with your wallet." So he must have been nearish the maternity department for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was so proud. He was really proud. He was like, "Oh, that's your charity." And I was like, "Well, I do have over 300,000 being distributed now, Dad."
Yeah.
There might be an odd chance that you
Yeah,
see.
might be no chance you'll see one. But yeah,
Yeah.
I remember like a few of my mates as well when I was first pregnant with Albert. They're like, "Have you got your wallet yet?" And I'm like, "I haven't got it yet, but I will get it." And I remember actually asking for one at one point as well. I was like, "Can I have my wallet?"
Well, a
My
lot of
friends have told me about these wallets.
a lot of dads appreciate them as well, because if mum is worried for some reason and
Mm,
thinks, oh, I'm not too sure whether this is right, they always say, well, where's the wallet? Go and get the wallet, let's see what the
yeah,
wallet says. And then they encourage mum to pick up the phone and go and get assessed, because half the time we don't want to pester anyone, do we? Or we think, oh gosh, I'm gonna have a really long wait once
well, this is
I
what
get
this
there.
is the thing as well. Like sometimes, like yesterday, for instance, I was having a few like pains, and when you're like, is that normal? Shall I go and see the midwife or not? And like today, I'm fine. But like last night, I said to Harry, like, because he was leaving for work, I was like, make sure you keep your phone on you just in case. But like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah,
But when you
yeah.
have those moments where you're like,
Yeah, you just need to trust your instincts, and you
yeah,
just need to think, if I'm having any doubt about this, then that is the reason to go, because midwives are there on hand to give reassurance for whenever you
yeah,
need it, and they love giving reassurance. They love checking you out and going, yeah, everything's great, everything's fine, so that's wonderful.
yeah,
But it's time is of the essence. So the sooner you go in and the sooner you get checked out, if there is a problem,
mm,
then obviously they can act really quickly. Because you would do it if you had a newborn baby and they didn't seem quite right, or they had a bit
yeah,
of
of course.
temperature, or you take them straight in.
Yeah,
So it's the same principle, really.
yeah, yeah. Another thing I'm actually sort of, you two might be able to give me some advice on this, is obviously like the sort of transition for Albert having a like a little sister around. I'm sort of a bit like, how do I go about that? Because I've seen lots of things, when you see things online where they're like, oh, when they first come to the hospital to meet the baby, make sure you're not holding the baby, or get them to give the baby a present or stuff like that. Did you guys sort of do any of
The
that?
only
Or
the only experience I have is bringing home one of Paloma's baby grows and putting it in like the dog crate to get like Frank used to it.
yeah,
He's a
yeah,
dog,
yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
That is a really good point, though. That's a really good point about introducing pets as
Yeah,
well to the newborn baby and getting them used to it, because I can imagine that they can sulk half the
Yeah.
time as well if they're
mm,
not getting enough attention.
yeah,
But yeah, we did explain to Tobias, we tried to get him involved, and we told him what the plan was. When mummy goes in to have the baby, you're going to stay with grandma for a couple of
yeah,
nights, and then yeah, he did come in, and we got him a gift.
yeah,
Actually, we got him a gift. So when he came in and saw the baby, we then had a present for him already. I think I packed it in my hospital bag for when he
yeah.
came to visit.
That's a really good idea, actually. What was the gift? Can you remember? Just out of interest.
I think it must have been like a little action toy at the
Yeah.
time. It was probably something to do with Octonauts or something. He's 13 now, so it's
Oh
hard
God.
to remember. Yeah, he'll die if he listens to this, but I
Oh
think it was
God.
something like that. But yeah, and then you just sort of get them to help,
Yeah.
and explain old baby's hungry and try and get them to help change the nappy and things like that. And I used to tell stories like, oh, I remember when you were this small and when I was changing your nappy, and when, to try and keep them included.
But this is it as well. Like at the minute, I'm sort of trying to explain to Albert, like I know it's only 3, but like, oh, there's a baby in mummy's tummy sort of thing. Like, oh, and Albert's like, no, there's a baby in Albert's tummy. I'm like, no, no, we'll get there.
Yeah, I just think
sorry, Heidi, go on.
I was just going to say just a little bit of prep. That's all they need, because otherwise it's a bit of a shock to the system. So it's just explaining, oh, this is going to be the baby's room, and
Yeah.
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 I was just going to say a lot of my friends have been pregnant recently because they're all kind of on round 2. And Paloma now has a habit of just asking people if they've got a baby in their tummy.
Oh.
Sometimes
Oh no!
it's okay, but sometimes it's like so inappropriate.
Oh no! Are you like, oh, I'm so sorry? No.
She's really started saying things now that are awkward though, like we'll pop round to see the neighbour or something, and she'll be like, I'm bored now. And
Do you know what? At the minute, Albert's everything is no. Like, no, mummy, no, daddy. I'm like, should we go and do this? He's like, no, mummy. I'm like, okay, fine. That's whatever. Yeah. I love that name, Paloma. That's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
Thank you. And so is Albert excited, do you think?
I don't think he really knows, to be honest. Like, yeah, I've sort of like we do try and sort of like talk to him about it and sort of say, oh, Albert's going to be a big brother, or is Albert going to help mummy change the baby's nappy, that sort of thing. But I don't know. I mean, we've got a few months yet, so maybe, by the time the baby comes around, he might clock a bit more.
Just
and have you thought of any names yet, or have you not even got around to it? Names is so hard, I found.
Right. So names, we've got traditional, because I do like the sort of like traditional, like obviously like Albert. So we've got Olive, Eliza, Florence. I do like Beatrice. Amy, obviously my mum. What else was there? There was one more. What was it? Laurie. I love, sorry, Harry's there shouting out to me. Yeah, Laurie. But I sort of said to Harry, I was like, can I have Laurie for a girl? And Harry was like, I don't know, because it reminds me of just like Lawrence. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough. But there was something about it. I was like, oh, I love the name Laurie. But yeah.
That's nice. They're all really nice. Tilly is about to go to her new school, which is a secondary school. So she had a moving up day the other day.
And what was that like? How do you feel about secondary school?
Oh, don't.
With girls as well. Oh.
It's the same at any school. So when she started first school, I was in pieces. When she started her second school, I was in pieces. And this time round, I don't know how because she's so small. She's an August baby.
Yeah.
And she's tiny. And I think she will struggle a little bit. She's very quiet and anxious, so she does find it hard to make friends. But the second day she was there, she came out skipping and very happy, and she'd made a couple of friends in the playground.
That's nice.
So that was really good. But she was saying that there's 3 Lilies in her class.
Okay.
There's 4 Jacks. And the strangest thing is that there's also 3 Harpers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And why they've put them all in the same class, I don't really know, because that would really confuse me. Harper 2, Harper 3, but yeah, there's 3 Harpers, 3 Lilies, and 3 Jacks. So there we go.
Maybe
They're probably the most popular names in
Beckham's Harper.
Yeah, because to be fair, I never really heard that name, and since that, so
no, I haven't. So that's obviously, one of the
sparked a trend.
Yeah, definitely. So how are you going to avoid the negative birth stories on social media?
I've just got to flick past it, and if it comes up. But I saw an interview actually with Louise Thompson, gave a good interview with ITV. So that's what I got served, if you like, on TikTok the other day. And I started watching that because she's got a book out as well. And, when you're like, oh, do I get the book? Do I have a look at it? Or is it going to play on my mind, sort of thing? So I'm a bit like, maybe not at the minute.
Yeah, I never really looked into her story, but I
Yeah,
remember when she was posting on socials when stuff was happening, just like, I
yeah.
can't talk about it. I'm not ready to talk
I
about it. And I'm
know, I
like,
know.
it just feels like, yeah. And at the
Yeah,
time, I think I was pregnant and then I hadn't looked at it since then. So
yeah.
I'd be quite interested to read it. It's good that she's talking out about
I
it.
think it's amazing that she's talking about it. It's brave. Also, I've stopped watching One Born Every Minute. I
I've
got
never watched that. I
oh
just
God, especially with Albert, I was obsessed with it. And I think they make it look all nice in the end with the music and everything. Do you know what I mean? And I started watching a bit at the beginning of this pregnancy, and then I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. I'm just gonna have to wait. So
It is a program at the end of the day, so it
yeah,
has to be interesting.
yeah,
And so they will edit it in a certain way, and they will choose certain stories,
yeah,
certain cases that they'll show. But yeah, I think it's taking the useful bits of awareness
yeah,
and thinking, right, so actually I need to look out for that, and I need to look out for that. And if that ever happens, I need to go straight in and get checked out.
yeah,
And the rest of it, you just got to think it's a very personal journey. Every pregnancy is different. It's always going to be different. As long as you, like you say, you prep and put your birth plan in place and you have a really good relationship with your maternity team,
yeah,
you know who to call if you've ever got any concerns or problems. I
yeah.
think that's the way forward. But you must, like, I don't understand being so popular on social media and having lots of followers and things like that. How do you deal with like the good and the bad side of social media?
Um,
Because obviously it has a lot of great things that you can achieve through it, but there must also be some negativity sometimes you have
Oh
to.
yeah, you always get the odd troll here and there, but I think I've got quite a thick skin now, to be honest, from growing up like with Kate, for instance. So I just think if people are going to slag people off online or troll them, then I just really think they need to get a life. Do you know what I mean? There's more things to be doing, and I haven't got time for it. So
do you read it all and engage in
no,
like any of that, or do you just
no.
think it's like
I
whatever?
will, if I get a DM, I will look at the first line and be like, oh, can't be a fucking ass with it. Like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? What I can't understand is if I don't like something on Instagram, I'll just flick off it,
Yeah.
whatever. I haven't got the time or the energy to sit there and be abusive to someone or right like just grow up. Do you know what I mean? I
I
just think
know.
it's
I haven't got the
pathetic.
time, like you say. I've got a life. Like I'm so
Yeah,
busy juggling so many different things. I have so many tabs open in
yeah,
my brain.
yeah.
I'm trying to
Same.
control. And you're right, if someone's annoying or I don't agree with what they say, which obviously is going to happen
Yeah, of course.
all the time, you're right. You
I
just
just,
scroll or unfollow or
yeah, this is
mute
the
or
thing. Like,
whatever. Yeah.
what I never understand people that follow someone they don't like just to give them abuse. Don't
Yeah.
get it.
I think it's just people like insecure and projecting, aren't
Yeah,
they? I saw the other day just this really lovely lady based here. She's a radio DJ like here. And she's lost loads of weight, like
yeah,
in a really like healthy way. And she looks
yeah.
wonderful. And she looked wonderful before. And she's wearing this dress at this like ball, and someone's felt the need to comment to say that dress is the most disgusting thing I've seen. Send her a
Mm.
DM. It's like if you can take good comments and you can't take this, there's something wrong with you. She just posted it and was like, just unfollow me, like
Yeah,
need for this. I just
yeah.
thought that's so like how
Unnecessary.
unnecessary,
I
and it just shows a
know.
weakness in you if you like
Yeah. And like, I find
do
as
that.
well,
It's
like
pathetic.
people that comment on other people, like, especially when they're pregnant, and oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. Like,
Mm.
fuck off. Like, I will do what I want to do. I know what I'm doing. It's my second time round doing it. Like, give me a break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. I think the only time you should ever look down on someone else is when you're helping them back up.
yeah,
That's really it. And we should all be empowering each other and helping each other and supporting each other
yeah.
because we all need it. Life's hard enough.
Exactly. No one's
Life's hard enough.
perfect. No one's perfect. Everyone, has their own ups and downs. But I just think highlighting someone's sort of downfalls or whatever. I just think,
Yeah, it should be constructive feedback.
Yeah.
And I love constructive feedback. Like if someone says to me, oh, I don't think that's quite right on your website, or I don't think you're reaching that audience too well, then I take it on, and because I love learning. I want to learn, and I want everything to be better, so that I can reach more people with our messages and help to save more babies' lives. That's your main goal in life at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, if you've got a good heart and a good purpose, then that's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You should all be supporting each other.
Yeah, rather than the odd bitchy comment.
Yeah. So you are old hat at this stuff now. You're on to baby number 2.
Yes.
What advice would you give to parents listening?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm still searching for it myself. What advice would I give? Make sure your partner is supporting you, because I do think as well, like I'm better at getting on with things as long as like I've got Harry there to sort of help me along with it as well. But obviously I know in some cases that's not the case. So if there's like a family or friend there, just someone that you can bounce off and chat things over with, I think.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
that's key, isn't it? And
Yeah.
like asking for help, because I had a baby, like honestly, I'd go and visit my friends after they had one. I'd just pop round with like a little cuddly toy, swing in, you know, they'd make a cup of tea, I'd probably have a bit of cake, and then I'd leave. And now I'm like taking like a lasagna round.
Yeah,
And
this is
you
it. This is it. This is
like,
it.
Doing
Like,
washing up.
no,
Yeah.
like I remember when I first had Albert, like if Harry's mum used to come round, like she used to just like make tea and just tidy up the kitchen. And that is so, I appreciate that so much. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm knackered, and like little things like that just like make a difference. Like just, I'm like tidy house, tidy mind. Do you know what I mean? So I find as well, if the house is a shithole, then I'm like, oh, I can't like get on with my day or whatever. So things like, I'm saying that, I'm looking at, I've got a pile of washing next to me, but but yeah, like little things like that, as like you say, taking a lasagna round, or oh, do you want us to do dinner tonight, or just little things like that. Definitely.
And even the odd babysitting duty every now and then, that would
well,
be
this
so
is another
valuable.
thing I've noticed as well. People in the beginning are like, oh yeah, if you need us anytime, we'll babysit. And then when you ask for it, they're like, oh, I can't do da da da. And I'm just like, oh, whatever. So you do notice that as well.
Yeah, it's consistency, isn't it? Definitely. You need someone to be consistent.
Yeah. Grandparents are key.
Yes, it's amazing how many family holidays you could stomach when you have a baby.
I know.
Like,
Grandparents,
crack on, mum.
aunties, uncles, they're key. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we've got one of our colleagues is doing a skydive soon, to help raise money, which we're all really looking forward to, because we're all going to go along up to Nottingham and cheer her on. Have you ever done a skydive? Would you ever consider doing a skydive?
I haven't, no, and I don't think I would, I'll be honest with you. Harry has. He'd love to do another one.
Okay.
But that, no, not for me. I think it's a brilliant thing to do if you know you can do it and you're confident enough to do it, but that would freak
She
me
was
out.
talking with our social media lady Beth the other day.
Yeah.
And she kept on saying, right, well, once I've done it, Heidi's next.
Oh yes.
And I was just like, I just couldn't. I've done paragliding in Turkey.
Yeah.
I nearly fainted as I was running off the cliff. I mean, that was bad enough. That's at like 2,000 feet or whatever. That was scary enough. But to actually jump out of a plane, I just couldn't.
What about any marathons or half marathons? Has anyone ever done, a supporter ever done that or anything? They must have.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, we've had some great supporters over the years doing different things. And again, I would absolutely love to do something like that. But again, I just don't have the time. Like, you need quite a bit of time
for the
to
training.
train.
Yeah.
If I lived in Dubai, like Marisa does,
Yeah.
it might be a bit more inviting to go out for a run.
Yeah.
No, it's like 45 degrees today,
Oh,
so you'd
God.
struggle.
Do you know
Oh, maybe
what?
not,
So
maybe not.
so me and Kate done the marathon together when I was 18. I'm
Oh,
35.
wow.
Yeah, so I'm
Oh,
what am I
wow.
now? I'm 34 now. So this is years ago. I haven't done one since because like I found it such hard work after. And like, you know, when your toenails fall off and all that sort of thing. And like my knees were just like gone. But like, I remember doing the training with that, and training like in the rain was almost better than when it's warm. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, when you get the sort of motivation going, like it's like you feel like Rocky.
Nope.
No, nope.
Can't say I do.
Can't say I have, so no. But yeah, yeah.
Can I put you on the spot and ask you a question? I've been inspired, Heidi, by Tobiah. So we interviewed Heidi's son, Tobiah, the other day, and
Oh,
we asked him if he had any ideas for fundraising, and he came up with a couple just like on the spot. Can
yeah.
you think of anything that you think Mama would be
You could do
good?
like a 24-hour challenge on social media, maybe with different influencers or something like that.
Mm,
That's a good idea.
Or like 12-hour challenge if 24 is too much.
that's a really good idea. Yeah, because we're getting lots of different support from people at the moment, from different influencers.
Yeah,
That would be a great idea. Yeah.
yeah,
And then we can promote all of our work, everything that
yeah,
we're doing. Because the stuff that we're doing at the moment, I could talk about forever. I'm
yeah,
so excited about it. All the ways in which we're helping people. So that's such a good idea.
yeah, you could do that. Charity fun runs, they're always fun. But yeah, I always think the socials hit
You
your
take that.
audience, don't they? So,
You take that back to HQ, Heidi.
yeah.
Start
Sophie came up with
WhatsApping.
this idea. How do we make it happen? Yeah.
We're going to be like, not another one.
Yeah, I know. We'll be like, oh, for Christ's sake,
There's
well
enough
done.
on the mama to-do list as it is. But that's a great idea. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. You might be able to help us, Sophie, and coordinate
Yeah, let me
it.
know. Let me know. So long as it's not on the 5th of November when my due date is.
You might be
Oh.
slightly occupied that day.
Yeah, slightly occupied that day, but yeah. I still can't believe we haven't got long till Christmas, you know. When I think of November and then I'm like baby, then Christmas, and I'm like, oh God.
Don't say the C word.
I love it though. I love it. I love
Yeah, I do
Christmas.
as well.
Well,
I've
right
like,
now,
So are you in Dubai full time then?
yeah,
What's that
yeah.
like? Living like, what's it like there at Christmas?
It's not, I always feel like when it's hot, it doesn't feel Christmassy.
Yeah.
Last year we came back for Christmas and we were like, never again. But then it's my dad's 70th, so we're back in the UK for Christmas. And it is nice. Like I love like the snugginess of it all, you
Yeah.
know, and like pubs and sitting with
Yeah, I
bottles of
love all
wine, like
that.
love all that. Like you
Yeah.
can't replicate that. But equally going to the beach for breakfast, coming back,
Yeah.
going to like an all you can drink neat brunch is nice, or just like here they do roast dinner delivered, so all of the restaurants will deliver roast dinner for you and it's delicious. It's
Is it
not like,
nice?
yeah, it's really nice. It's not like a rubbish one.
I would
Yeah.
never have
So
thought you could get a roast dinner in
No.
Dubai.
yeah, there's loads of them. And actually, like, you don't really like, you want to be out by the pool and not sat inside, like slaving away over the
Yeah,
dinner,
yeah.
you know? So it is really good, but it is different. It doesn't feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
But, you know, having a small child and going back for Christmas is fun, but it's
Yeah.
also difficult. And like here, she's got all her stuff and like it's easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is good. But we're coming back again this year, so next year we'll experience it.
Yeah. Oh,
But it's fun.
lovely.
It's good to live. It is nice to live here,
Yeah.
other than the heat at the moment, but that'll pass.
Yeah.
I expect you get used to it, don't you? Acclimatise to it.
You do, but in this, I mean, it's like 40 degrees at 6 a.m., you know, so even walking the dog
Yeah.
in direct sunlight is hot, but you get used to like not being out in it that much.
Yeah.
And it's not, yeah, it's just a bit boring for a couple of months,
Yeah.
really. You do
What's
acclimatise. Like when it's 35, I'm like, woohoo,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Really, that's still hot.
What's the maternity care like out there and all that sort of
It's
thing?
all private health, so
Okay.
it's really good.
Yeah.
But because it's private healthcare,
Private. Yeah.
so it's like I had a C-section, emergency C-section in the end, and was in hospital for 3 days. And I
Yeah.
was like, food is so amazing. Like
Yeah.
I could tell you everything on the menu at the hospital I was in.
Well, yeah, talking about C-sections, really quickly going back to that's another thing that surprised me after I had mine is how quickly they want you up and out. Like I remember laying in the bed and she looked at me and she was like, right, come on then, I need you to move to the chair and then you've got to walk to the toilet. And I looked at her and I was like, I remember literally going, are you joking?
I
Like,
remember that.
yeah.
That walk.
That walk.
First walk. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. It was
yeah.
awful. It was painful. And you do think, surely they're joking.
Yeah, I did. I looked at her and I was like, you are joking. And she was like, no, you can't go home until we can see you walk. I thought to myself, well, I'll stay in bed then.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Stay in bed then.
I was terrified. Oh, this is a bit gross, but I was terrified of the first poo.
Oh my God, so was I. So was I. I remember, I might go into details and be like, Harry, I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
This is another thing that people say to me when they give birth naturally, that first pee after is like burning. And you know, when you're like, oh God. Oh,
all these little celebrations that we need milestone cards for.
I know. Do you know what's funny? Actually, this morning I saw on TikTok. Have you heard of that? Is it Freedom Mum? Those free like recovery kits.
Haven't seen them.
Is it like one of those? Got one of those water squirts?
It's got one of the water things in. It's got like ice, maternity pads, all that sort of thing. I think you can get it in Boots, but it's not 90 quid. It's quite expensive. So I was a bit like, maybe not. Just stick to my tenner, lady. But yeah. Oh God.
My friend actually, one last thing, but my friend actually gave me a load of like massive sanitary pads that had like aloe vera and stuff on them. She'd folded them up and they were in the freezer. So so she gave me all those, and because the C-section I didn't use them in the end, but I was like, they would feel quite nice, I can imagine. So
yeah, that's quite a good tip actually.
That's a really good
versions.
Yeah. I remember I took incontinence pads in with me, like to wear as knickers after. I just couldn't believe how much like you bleed after as well.
I think there's nothing more leveling than those sort of massive post-birth pads that you give you.
I know.
Especially after a C-section, because you can't even stand up straight.
No. I remember having to ask Harry to help me change. Like, I'm like, please pass me my like pad things. Oh God.
Motherhood is so glamorous.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's so glamorous. Well, it's been amazing to have you on, Sophie. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best for the remainder of your pregnancy. Keep
Thank
us posted.
I
Let
will.
us know how it's going.
I will keep you updated and fingers crossed, all good. So,
yeah. Any problems, any advice that you need, just let us know.
Oh, I will.
Be on
Definitely.
hand to help.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Take good care.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.